Ah, the Oracle. What a wonderful saber. Well, that's my opinion anyway. So, what do we have here? We have a hilt with a wrap. Yeah. The Oracle on the bottom is the newer version. The one on the top is the older version. And the newer version has a bit more wrap on it, just because of the cut of the hilt. There's considerable design elements that are a lot different between the two of them, while at the same time the saber's essentially the same. The pommel has that knurling on it, and so does the switch section. The switch section has knurling, and essentially the thin necks, the chokehold there is pretty much identical, and the emitters are very, very different. And you can see here, well, you can see the differences. I do these little freeze frames throughout, like this one. You can see that there's different amounts of line on the older and the new version. The older one has like 3 or 4, the new one just has 1. And the same thing kind of happens down here further in the hilt near the pommel. You have 3 little picked out lines. On the newer version you have 1. I think they did that because they had to extend the wrap section. They want a more pronounced kind of wrap effect, as it were. You know what I mean? Okay. And so that kind of, I think, works for, well, it works for both hilts. And what else we got here? Well, yada yada yada. You can see the differences in the emitter. The one on the older one, again on the bottom, or the closer one, is kind of more like a fish mouth, whereas the other one's a little bit more uniform, a little bit more symmetrical, as it were. And the windows are a little bit different on each. On the bottom half, the one on the older version, again on the right, is a little bit shorter than the one on the newer version. But on the top of the hilt, which hopefully I'll show pretty soon. Yes, here we go. So you can see that the little windows are kind of the same size. They're essentially sort of the same shape-ish. And the blade retention screws are on opposite sides on each of the designs. So here again you can see how the things are spaced out because the dimensions, the geometry of the emitter kind of changes, so they have to space things out differently. You can use your eyes. My descriptions are rubbish, but the old version has a cover tuck wheel. My version, I put a D-ring on it, to the chagrin of all those out there don't like jangly D-rings. Here's a substantially different aspect of the hilt. You can see the cutaways on the pommel are considerably different. The other thing I failed to mention is my older version of the Oracle. Well, I should probably stop talking. But the older version is weathered. The newer version is a standard finish. I'll let you get to it, okay?
You